It's like a very warm, fuzzy, glowy, nice feeling. That's what it feels like. And it's nice to be appreciated. It's no doubt. I mean, everybody needs that. Being in charge of building the actually the second pyramid at Glastonbury in 1980. The Roger Waters' Wall concert in Berlin. There's two big things. I mean, they're the two standout things that come to mind at this point. We did a stage at Glastonbury for about, I don't know, probably about 18 years. Why did we? Do you know why we abandoned it? Because we got fed up with the quality of bands that he was putting on. Evis, difficult man. I think after all this time, I'm actually finally beginning to get a serious grip on what is going on with audio. And last 2 years, we've made more forward progress than I can hardly ever remember. It's really coming together at the moment. And we just have to be allowed to do a few festivals in this country. We do them all over the world, but not here. So the future of Funktion-One, well, we will continue. There's a whole lot. There's new product going on. I think by now I'm fed up with it, but there are days for sure. But it is what I just said. You know, the enticingness of making something and then listening to it and hearing things the way you've never heard them before. I mean, that's nearly as good as sex. So you have to keep doing it. I grew up in audio time before there was even equalization, and there was the ability to fuck about with the sounds endlessly. You know, it was you had to get it right. You know, brilliant things like Glenn Miller. It was all done on one microphone with one take, and those guys had to know that and played it. I mean, that was sheer skill. And if you listen to something like In the Mood and think about that, and then, you know, Sgt. Pepper was only 3-track. I think the first serious 16-channel recording was the album that Frank Zappa made with Captain Beefheart, Hot Rats. And that was pretty amazing. And I'm now beginning to forget the point I was trying to make here. Yeah. So there is rather an emphasis on getting any old sounds and, if you like, using plugins and EQ and all sorts of special effects to try and make it nice. But sound is one of those things that you can't do that to without actually destroying it. It's in its initial thing, like a bird song or human voice. When you first record it, get that right and don't do anything else to it, because anything you do to it will bring it down. It just, so natural is absolutely best. And every system out there now doing gigs has got all manner of EQ. So stuff it in a box and then flatten it out with a graphic equalizer. Completely don't do that. We get it in the box and we make it sound flat before we put it out in the market. And we'll spend as much time as it takes to get those drivers to behave the way we would like them to, without recourse to electronics. Even though it's easy and it's tons of it around, we will not do that, because it isn't the same thing. If you get it right at the source, then everything else fires much more easily. And I think that's a good lesson for the world in general, actually. You need to make sure that your foundations are as pure and true as possible. It's all about high fidelity. Try to live a high fidelity existence. Really, really nice. Really, very, very good vibe here. There's nice energy. Yeah, it's really, really good. Everything. It's been a sheer pleasure being here.